twice this summer, whisked away by an ambulance. And once I'd passed out, my son found me. I want to stay alive and see grandkids, but it would be leaving my family or having them find me or having more women have to go through what I did to get diagnosed. When I was 39, I was a worship leader for a church. And when I was in the process of actually leading worship for 700 kids and 200 adults, I went to get a gasp of air and it had nothing. It was just like this squeezing chest. And I was literally had no way to breathe and I was just terrified. So that afternoon, I went to the doctor right away. She listened to my chest, said it sounded good, and said, you know, it probably was an asthma attack, and put me on an inhaler. Every major performance we had, I would have these massive attacks. By the end of the season, it was occurring during every choir rehearsal. I went back to see the doctor multiple times. And I was saying, you know, I'm getting really tired, and that's really odd for me because I'm super physically active. And she was like, maybe you have depression, let's try antidepressants. I'm like, I really don't think I'm depressed. I feel like I'm just tired. Final performance of the season, and I almost had this massive attack. I just was so freaked out. My mouth started going numb, my whole body started going numb. By the time I made it to the hospital, I was having it just felt like no oxygen was moving through my body whatsoever. So he immediately started ordering tests to get lungs and the heart checked out, and the lungs were completely clear, no asthma whatsoever. He said, you know, we're not finding anything. Your EKG's a little weird, but not really sure. You know, you seem fine. Maybe you're having an anxiety attack. You know, I didn't fit the case to be anything wrong. But just to be on the safe side, there is a small possibility of you having a disease called microvascular disease.
I think one of the hardest parts, it was just scary, and we didn't really know what was going on all the time. And like when there's a few scares with her, like going to the hospital, that was really scary.
It's been stressful, probably. Just like worrying about her every day.
And you look at somebody of her stature and her size, and she's exercised all those years. Heart disease or just heart issues doesn't really come into the mix.
So I did an angiogram, and it's different than your typical angiogram. You're awake, and they actually force an attack to occur. And so I had to keep telling them, you know, how much I was in pain. I was so happy to have a diagnosis after that long of time. It is awful not to be believed and to know you're sick. Even though treating it has been a battle, getting the diagnosis was so wonderful.
It was really unexpected to us to hear that she had heart disease for being so healthy and just everything. It was really unexpected, but I definitely know a lot more about it now, and I want more people to know about it.
There isn't a cure for it because the microvessels are the size of a strand of hair, so they can't go in and stint it. There's no way to open them physically. It's been almost 3 years, and it's been a really hard road. It seems to be of the 1 to 3% of women who are diagnosed with microvascular disease. I fall in about the 1 and 1.5% that have complications. I've been allergic to most medications that they want to use to treat me. And then I wound up in the hospital severely underweight. We also found out that my body itself is allergic to certain histamine-producing foods. It's called mast cell disease. I was done. I didn't want to do any more tests. And I was just crying, saying, this is it. I'll just be a mom. And maybe I'll just put up with whatever attacks occur. So I took myself off every medication. I was feeling better, and I was back to just the one nitrate. It just seemed to work. The biggest challenge probably has been working for the diagnosis and being a constant advocate for myself. Because once diagnosed, it was supposed to be super easy, take the meds, you'll go back to normal. And then I had to fight for myself and say, they're not working. I don't know how many tests I've had done or how many doctors I've seen. It's too many to even count.
I think the one thing I admire the most about Elizabeth is the word courage. Not always really understanding what tomorrow might bring from the heart issue. And whenever she has really bad chest pain or she has shortness of breath or these different things that are symptoms, there's always this inkling in the back of our mind, is this a big one, like a heart attack or something like that?
Being involved with Go Red has given me an outlook. It's given me many ways to share my story. Continued funding and research for women's heart disease is extremely important. It would mean a better treatment for me or better treatment for friends, family,